I'm your host, Joel Perez, and you're watching Wrestling with Politics. And today we're going to be once again discussing the mayor of New York City, Zoran Mamdani, who's recently been making some huge political moves. And more importantly, what we're going to be discussing today, some big political endorsements. And of course, whenever Zoran Mamdani does something good, as he has been doing a couple great things for New York City, filling a bunch of potholes apparently, and passing a lot of policy positions like the rent freeze in New York City, things that are helping everyday New Yorkers, perhaps making their lives better, you would hope. Whenever he does something good, I'm going to give him credit for it. But whenever Zoran Mamdani does something bad, oh, you better believe I'm going to call him out. And today, that's exactly what we're going to be doing. We're going to be calling Zoran Mamdani out on his BS, because what Zoran just did, it is complete BS. For those who don't know, Zoran Mamdani recently came out and endorsed Hakeem Jeffries for Speaker of the House. And this is especially heinous because for those who don't know who Hakeem Jeffries is, he's a corporate Democrat. He's a big Zionist. Oh, he loves his Israel lobby. And Hakeem Jeffries is somebody who doesn't support so many of the things that Zoran Mamdani ran on the campaign trail. Things like universal health care, things like making the buses fast and free. Hakeem Jeffries is completely against those things. He's an enemy of Zoran's political movement. So what the hell is Zoran Mamdani thinking here? Why would he endorse somebody who is an enemy of his political movement? Well, that's what we're going to be discussing here today. That's the question we're trying to get to the bottom of. But first, before we get to answering that question, let's roll this first clip here where we see Zoran Mamdani's comments on Hakeem Jeffries before when he was running for office, and his comments now where he's endorsing Jeffries for Speaker of the House, which he doesn't even have to do, but we're going to get to that. But his comments here, they're night and day. But what else is new with these politicians? Let's roll this clip.
And I must ask Congressman Jeffries, how many more Palestinians must be killed before you call for a ceasefire?
Democrats, in the midterms, do you want to see Leader Jeffries become the Speaker of the House?
Yes.
Jeffries become the Speaker of the House?
Yes.
I continue to support Congressman Jeffries and his bid to become the leader.
And there you see the complete 180 there from Zoran Mamdani. Before, when he was running for office, he was saying and calling out Hakeem Jeffries, rightfully so, and saying, how many more Palestinians have to die before we get a ceasefire? And that gets to the very center of this conversation, because why the hell would you support Hakeem Jeffries if you're trying to secure change for Palestine? If you're pro-Palestine, as Zoran Mamdani purports to believe, why the hell would you support one of Israel's puppets for Speaker of the House, Hakeem Jeffries? Why the hell would you do that? This is more fuel to the fire, more fuel to the belief that these politicians run for office saying whatever it takes to get themselves elected, and then when they get into office, they completely betray the working class and they completely betray the people who got them into that office and the promises that they made to those people. This is more proof of that. Zoran Mamdani, he's turning out to be another Barack Obama, another person who promised all this change and then gets into office and completely abandons all of that. Because why the hell would you do this? It's completely ass backwards. And even worse is the fact that Hakeem Jeffries, being Speaker of the House, he's actually somebody who would actually be able to make change on these issues like Palestine. He would be able to bring a floor vote to the House of Representatives to withhold funding from Israel. But of course, he's never going to do that because, like I said, he's Israel's puppet. So why would you endorse one of Israel's favorite congressmen to be Speaker of the House if you're pro-Palestine? It completely flies in the face of so many of the things that Zoran Mamdani purports to believe in. But of course, this is why, if you're questioning why Zoran Mamdani would do something like this, it's this stupid strategy that these progressives like AOC and Mamdani and Bernie have, that you have to work with the powerful in order to get policy concessions and get done what you need. So in Zoran Mamdani's case, he's endorsing Hakeem Jeffries in order to get policies that New York City needs, that he wants for New York City. And that's how he's going to do it, by working with Hakeem so that Hakeem can help him out as Speaker of the House and help him do the things he needs to get done. And of course, as we've discussed on this channel multiple times, as we discussed in the Shama Sawant interview on Breaking Points, she made this point perfectly clear. That's the exact opposite of how you make political change. Of course, working with the enemies of your entire political movement, with the enemies of the working class, it's never going to secure you actual concrete political demands. It's never going to work like that. Hakeem Jeffries is going to stab you in the back 100% of the time. And Zoran Mamdani is a fool to think otherwise. Of course, that's never going to be how this works. And he's trying to fool you and pretend that it is. It's not. But and there's people saying here that Zoran Mamdani, he should have just stayed quiet and not endorsed Hakeem Jeffries at all. And I guess that would have been better than outright endorsing this guy. But I disagree with that. I think that Zoran Mamdani, he should have weighed in here for sure, but he should have been calling out Hakeem Jeffries for being the genocidal maniac that he is. Hakeem Jeffries just met with Trump's son-in-law, Jared Kushner, another person who said that he would be interested in making Gaza into a real estate development. So these are the type of people that Hakeem Jeffries is meeting with, and this is the type of person that Zoran Mamdani is now endorsing. Zoran Mamdani, one of the most popular politicians in the country with the 54% approval rating in the Democratic Party, is now using his political popularity to prop up corporate Zionist politicians like Hakeem Jeffries. That's absolutely disgusting, and that's the exact opposite of how political change gets made. Hakeem Jeffries is, of course, never going to support the radical policy positions that Zoran Mamdani came in. Things like fast and free buses, things like the rent freeze, things like universal health care, which Hakeem Jeffries, we can roll that
Would
clip.
you vote for or against Medicare for all?
I think, as you've indicated in your question to me, it's not legislation that I currently am co-sponsoring or that I support.
So this is a guy who stands against everything that is democratic socialism, and of course here's Zoran Mamdani supporting him. This is further proof to the fact that Zoran Mamdani is a coward, but also that he's not the big change maker that he says he is. As a matter of fact, this proves to me that Zoran Mamdani is a complete failure, and he's not a democratic socialist and all these things, and the guy who's going to be finally the politician that we've been waiting for. He's just a standard Democrat, because at the end of the day, he's willing to fall in line. And who's the actual leader here? It's Hakeem Jeffries. He's endorsing Hakeem Jeffries for Speaker because at the end of the day, Zoran Mamdani, he's serving his role. His role, like the rest of these progressives, is not to secure political change. It's to keep you sheep herded and to keep you satisfied with the corporate warmongering genocidal Democratic Party. We're going to keep repeating that at the top of our lungs every single video that we possibly can until people finally get the message. That's Zoran Mamdani's actual role. It's not to secure you the rent freeze. It's not to secure you the fast and free buses. And as a matter of fact, he'll be the one to let you down on those issues every single time by doing crap like this. It's absolutely the most disappointing thing I've seen in a long, long time. Zoran Mamdani, as people said, he didn't have to do this. He's the mayor of New York City. Hakeem Jeffries is in Congress, and you don't have to weigh in here, but he decided to go out of his way and do so anyways. It's completely disgusting. I mean, there's another calculus here saying that Hakeem Jeffries endorsed Zoran Mamdani when he was running for office. So now, of course, Hakeem Jeffries is going to expect Zoran Mamdani to return the favor. But no, you shouldn't return the favor to this guy, because this guy, he's not going to give you what you want. And maybe it's not clear right now, but as the future goes on, I'm telling you more and more, this video, it's going to become more and more relevant. And it's going to ring in your ears, because you're going to see firsthand as Hakeem Jeffries becomes Speaker of the House in the future, when Democrats take control of the House, probably in the midterm election, you're going to see all the horrible things that Hakeem Jeffries does with his power as Speaker of the House. And now those things are going to go back and they're going to be attached to Zoran Mamdani. Why? Because you decided to endorse a corporate warmongering, genocidal Democrat. So that's all on you, Zoran Mamdani. And to me, this was the final straw. This was all the evidence I needed personally to confirm to me that Zoran Mamdani is not the real deal. And he's not going to bring the change to New York City that we thought he was. I mean, think about it. The New York City, the rents in New York City are skyrocketing. They're still at all-time highs. Zoran Mamdani, what are you doing about that? He's not bringing any significant change when it comes to that. When it comes to the rent freeze, we've discussed this in the videos before. It's a half measure. He froze the rent for rent-stabilized apartments and lower-income units in New York City, but for people who live with private landlords, their rent is still going up, and the private landlords can do whatever they want with those people. So the rents in New York City continue to skyrocket, and they're at an all-time high right now under Zoran Mamdani as mayor. So what's he doing about that? Well, nothing, it seems, because what's the case here? He's not the real deal. And that's a big, big problem for New York City. He might bring you some things, to crumbs, to keep you satisfied and keep you in the Democratic Party. But as time goes on, people are going to realize more and more that Zoran Mamdani, decisions like this are going to keep happening, where you see him becoming more and more conservative, see him going against so many of the things that were central to his campaign and that defined what he was before when he was running for office. Now he's supporting the leadership of the Democratic Party. You're supposed to be against these people. What the hell is going on here? But for now, you guys can let me know in the comment section down below what you think about this endorsement from Zoran Mamdani of Hakeem Jeffries. Personally, I'm completely disgusted. But that's what I think. You guys let me know what you think. And don't forget to support the Wrestling with Politics YouTube channel. Make sure to like this video. Make sure to subscribe. Make sure to share and hype. I'm not quite sure what that is, but make sure to do it anyways. And for now, that's all I have to say. Thank you so much for watching this video. I'll see you all very, very soon.